Good evening and welcome to Rebels Radio latest interview. I'm joined by Neil Baker after an emphatic win on Saturday.
Good evening, John.
How are you, Neil?
Very well, thank you. Very well.
Good. How was Friday night for you?
Yeah, Friday was good. We had a little team together, and unfortunately we didn't win the quiz, but we gave it a good go. But I think there was a bit of cheating going on, if I'm honest.
Really, some rigged questions.
Well, I don't know about that. I think there was a music round. I think a few people had Shazam, and I think there was a few little bits of cheating. So, but I don't like to make any accusations.
Okay, I think we should move swiftly on to Saturday.
Yep.
What was the team selection?
No change as of Barton. So obviously Jake had started against AFC Hayes. We put Delbo back into the starting lineup. Other than that, it was unchanged. Listen, the lads have been doing well, and in reality, we're not playing loads and loads of games at the moment. So we can sort of keep the same side at present. And one of the biggest things is you earn your shirt, and I think the lads are doing that at the moment. So yeah, no real changes. We've spoken to Jake, because obviously Jake's had a bit of a difficult season with in his injuries and stuff like that. And as I've said before, we massively rate Jake, and he'll have a big part obviously to play this season. But from our point of view, he's definitely one for us for next season, whereby a good pre-season under his belt, he'll be absolutely flying.
And an absolute crackerjack start to the game. Were you expecting that?
No, I don't think you ever expect that, but it was fantastic. I mean, myself and John had obviously talked about how we wanted to get the game to go, and we'd said, in an ideal world we'd get 2 or 3 up early. Eddie might score 1 or 2, and we can bring him off. And lo and behold, 8 minutes into the game, we're 3-0 up, and I don't think any of us could quite believe it. I mean, the start was just absolutely top drawer. I mean, some of the football leading up to the goals was fantastic, and I don't think Ashford could deal with us. Pace going forward, quality going forward. It was absolutely top drawer, and to be 3-0 up after 8 minutes, the game is won, and it's great because A, we can relax, B, the side can relax and take a little bit out of the game, and it enables us to make a few substitutions and get people minutes.
How quickly was Adam Cornell warming up?
After 7 minutes. Myself and John were obviously in discussions as to when we'd bring Eddie off. We told Eddie beforehand, that if we got a few goals up, we'd be bringing him off, and I don't think in our wildest imagination or his that we'd be 3-0 up after 8 minutes. So yeah, we got Adam warming up straight away. But me and John sort of spoke about it, and we thought, well, we'll give Eddie a little bit longer to see if he can get his hat trick, because he loves scoring goals, and otherwise he moans anyway. So we thought we'd give him another 10-15 minutes, and he had, to be fair, he had a couple of chances to actually get his hat trick, and but listen, it was totally the right thing to do, and whilst he always wants to play and stuff. He knew it was the right decision. I said to him, he was, I wanted to score a few more goals, and I said, well, you shouldn't have got booked at Northwood for kicking a ball away, and then you wouldn't have been in that position. So he laughed about it and he accepted it, and it's great news for us because it means we're not going to lose him to a suspension.
Johnny Dyer got quite an early booking in the game. Were you at all worried about his temperament and his keeping clean for the rest of the game?
It did cross our mind. Yeah, it was a silly booking for Johnny. The ball. I think the linesman had flagged for offside, and he sort of struck it towards goal. It's one of those ones where you don't really want to see players book for it, but to the letter of the law, it is a booking, and it did worry us for a minute, because we weren't sure. Johnny's obviously had a suspension for 5 bookings. He wasn't close to getting 10, but obviously if he got sent off, we just needed to work out how many games he'd missed, but it would only have been 1, which would have been the Chertsey game, so we weren't too worried about that. And we felt, we said to Johnny, you just got to be sensible, and to be fair, when you're 3-0 up, you don't really need to make a challenge as a centre forward. So he was he just kept himself to himself, and obviously popped up with another 2 goals.
Yeah. The game to be honest, wasn't much of a spectacle after the first 10 minutes. It kind of turned almost into a bit of a training ground. How do you keep the boys motivated? What do you say at half-time to them to keep them going?
It is difficult. I think, in any game when you get a few goals up and the game is effectively won, it's very difficult to maintain the intensity. I think it's even harder, especially as we've probably got one of the best goal we have got the best goal difference in the league. So you're not sort of saying, sitting there saying, oh well, we've got to score goals to get above other teams. So it is difficult. But to be honest, we were quite happy with how the game turned out, because we didn't have to fly into tackles. They weren't flying into tackles. And as you say, it almost turned into a bit of a training game, exercise, and that suited us down to the ground, because it enabled us to bring a few players off.
Able to make a few substitutions, give some of the players who haven't been getting so many minutes a good amount of game time.
Yeah, I mean, it was good to be able to bring Warren and Clergy off. Those two have, been excellent as of late, and have pretty much played in most minutes. So it was important that we gave them a rest, and it was good that we brought Riz and Jake on, and they both got good amounts of time.
Who of the three that you brought off had the biggest drop?
That's a question. Warren was okay, mind you. Warren still wants to score goals, and he was okay. But Clergy and Eddie, between the pair of them, they're an absolute nightmare. So no, it was all, it was a bit of jesting going on Twitter yesterday and things like that. But listen, they both know it's for the right reasons, and whilst everyone wants to play every minute of every game, it's not always possible, and it's about doing the right thing for the team, and it was definitely the right thing on Saturday.
And so, in a big week, building up to a massive game when we entertain rugby on Saturday afternoon at Holloway's, what is the team's plans for this week?
Well, we obviously, with the bank holiday weekend, you're playing a lot of football in a short period of time. Obviously we go Saturday, Monday, so our usual regime would be a Tuesday and Thursday night session. However, as of late, we've been sort of restricting that to one session a week normally, because the grounds are getting very hard. The lads they're not going to get any fitter. They should be as fit as they can be at this stage of the season. So it's just a case of ticking over. So we've changed it this week, whereby instead of doing the Thursday night, we're going to train on Wednesday night, which gives them a few days in between the first game. And myself and John, and probably yourself, will go and watch a couple of games. We'll probably get over to watch Egham and Barton, and probably Egham and Kettering. With I guess the playoffs in mind. Obviously if we can make the playoffs, we could potentially be playing one of those too. So it's now time to think about what might happen. Obviously we've still got to guarantee getting in the playoffs, but it's has
the league gone?
No. I mean, listen, we're 1 point off top. So of course it hasn't gone. You look at the games that have got to be played. It's firmly in Daventry's hands. I mean, I'd expect them to go and beat Potters Bar and AFC Hayes Tuesday and Thursday. Which will then put them 5 points clear of us with 3 games to go. You're then looking at the games. They'll have 4 games to go. We'll have 3 games to go. But then you look at the weekend where they play Royston and Kettering, and they could drop some points there, which then might make it interesting if we go and win our games. But at the end of the day, we've got to go and win against Rugby and a revitalised Aylesbury side. So. Listen, it's probably gone. However, you win your 3 games, you put a bit of pressure on Dunstable and Daventry. But I think if you're a betting man, you'd probably say that Daventry will win the league.
You're not allowed to bet anymore.
Well, yeah, no, that's one of the new rules. Well, you couldn't bet anyway, but that is one of the new rules for next year. You won't be able to bet on anything. So, but no, I mean, I think if anyone was to say somebody was going to win the league, it would be Daventry.
Okay. Any squad news, injury updates? Any players getting some game time this week? Those that have been around the fringes?
Yeah, Adam Cornell's going to get another 90 in for Binfield tomorrow. Just to keep him ticking along, he got a good sort of 65, 70 minutes on Saturday. I thought he did really well, actually. I think he was gutted because he come off and hadn't scored, but I thought his link-up play and general play was actually very good. So we were really pleased with Adam. So he's the only one that's going to get some minutes this week. we don't have Steve Duff and we don't have Woos for the weekend. So that they'll be unavailable. Scott Harris is improving. Whether he's available for this weekend, I'm not sure. And other than that, we'll be bringing Dan Sinton back into the squad. He played a 90 for Met Police on Saturday. We'll play tomorrow night against Bury Town, and then he'll be with us Saturday and Monday.
Excellent. And going ahead to Saturday, what do you make of Rugby? They've had a little blip recently, but they should never be discounted.
No, I mean, Rugby are one of the strongest sides in the league. When you've got two forwards like Kolodinsky and Lake Gaskin, you're going to cause problems. They're both very, very good players. They like to play rugby. They're good going forward, and they're always a threat. So, they have had a bit of a rough time of it recently. I was looking at the squad. From what I can see, they might have picked up a few injuries and unavailability might have killed them a little bit. But when you've got two forwards like they have, they can score goals at any point, and we can attest to that because we've got the same with our forwards. We've got forwards that can score goals, so it always gives you a chance in football, and we know Saturday is a big game for us, big game for them, and I'm sure it'll be a real ding dong. Hopefully everyone will get behind the lads and come out in numbers. I sort of look at the game and think, a game like that should be attracting 400 people at least. So I sort of urge people to try and get friends and family along to come and support the lads because they've been brilliant recently. I mean, at Ashford, it was every game at the moment it's like a home game, but it'd be great to have a real good following on Saturday.
Any prediction of the score?
No, never predict a score.
Any prediction for the crowd apart from 400? You going exactly 400?
No, hopefully we'll break 400. 410 is my estimate. But no, I mean, I never sort of try and pick out a result or anything like that. All I hope that we do is that we turn up, we continue in the right frame of mind that we have been doing. And we keep our run going, but we know full well that Saturday will be very, very tough, and I'm sure Rugby will be coming out to turn us over.
Well, we all look forward to that game. Hopefully the weather will hold, and as you say, get plenty of people down there. Good luck, and I will speak to you on Sunday.
Lovely job.
Cheers.
Cheers.